Many of the cases I handle are the result of a single car accident. If you are in a single car accident, for example, you go into a ditch, you should consider doing the following. Get out and look around. See if there are any witnesses. If there are, you have a big problem. If you are able, lock your car and get off the roadway. Hide. Many people are arrested walking down the street. Call for a ride using your cell phone. If you are able to get away from the scene, for example, you make it home, and the police come to your house, do not answer any questions. Tell the police you refuse to speak to them without your lawyer present. If you admit to driving the car, you will most likely be arrested for drunk driving. If the police do not question you until the next day, and you admit to being the driver of the car, you will get a misdemeanor for leaving the scene of a property damage accident, which is very serious, and every cop and prosecutor will assume you were drunk, even though they have no evidence of it. If you follow my advice, you probably will escape without even being charged. I am not advising you to break the law. That would be improper. But I am simply telling you what other people have done. If you decide that you are too intoxicated and are in a parking lot, do the following. Turn your car off. Get into the passenger seat. Hide your keys. Do not admit anything to the police. Give them your name and address. If they attempt to question you further, ask them to speak with a lawyer and tell them you are not going to answer any questions. The police always asks if you drove, when you had your last drink, how long you've been there for. Do not answer these questions. The police are not your friends. Again, ask for a lawyer. If you are driving and are feeling intoxicated, you should find a parking lot if you can. But if you can't, and you must pull over to the side of the road or highway, do the following. Make sure you pull completely off the road, but not into the ditch. Park, turn your car off. Hide your keys, or throw them out to be safe. Put the emergency flashers on. Get into the passenger seat. Lock the door. If approached by the police, do not answer any questions, except your name and address. Tell them you refuse to answer any questions without your lawyer present. If you do these things, you have a much better chance of surviving your error in judgment without a drunk driving conviction. If you didn't get this advice in time and got a DUI, you need the best attorney you can afford. Here's how to interview, evaluate, and select an attorney. Ask, does he or she have specialized training, knowledge, and experience in defending drunk driving cases? What percentage of their cases are DUIs? How many DUIs have they taken to trial? How many not guilty verdicts? What were the various defenses at trial? The defendant was not operating the car. The defendant had GERDs, or gastroesophageal reflux disorder. The 5% margin of error on the breathalyzer. That there was a contaminant in the defendant's mouth, like alcohol or blood. The length of time blown. Drunk driving charges are different than other criminal charges. To properly defend a DUI, a lawyer needs to understand the following. Breath testing and how the breathalyzer works. Standardized field sobriety tests. How they are to correctly be administered and what it means if you perform them properly. How to cross-examine a cop. Ask him or her to do an initial analysis of your case. Look at the driving. Why were you stopped? Was there probable cause? Did you break some law? Your blood alcohol content level. Is it accurate based on your body weight and the number of drinks you had? It's very important to order the in-car videos right away. Do you appear sober? How's your speech? Your demeanor? Was the breath test done in a procedurally correct fashion? Did the officer do an observation period? Is there any evidence of mouth alcohol? Did your test result in an invalid sample? Will this case probably result in a plea, or is this case triable? If your case is defendable at trial, you need the best DUI trial lawyer you can afford. Ask to see video footage of the attorney in trial. Ask to speak to past clients who actually went to trial. Ask him or her to lay out their trial strategy and evaluate it to see if it makes sense or not. Is your potential attorney a sole practitioner, or do they have a firm? A firm of lawyers typically have more resources and can provide you with better representation. When our firm goes to trial, we never go alone. When we prepare for trial, we always do a mock jury or focus group. That way, we find out what the average person thinks, what the average juror will think about your case. Getting popped for drunk driving is an expense that you can possibly avoid if you drink defensively. We have all had too much to drink and driven. Most of us have gotten away with it. These days, we have to be extra careful. Nobody can afford a DUI or the risk of causing harm to an innocent bystander.